Hello, welcome to my channel. It is that time of the month. We are checking in on my HRCYED plans. I feel so much better about HRCYED round 2 in January than I did in HRCYED round 1 in January. I was having a bit of a moment. I need to go get that second book and go ahead and put it on a TBR. I'm going to do that for Q2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I have to do it in Q2. This ends in Q2. April, May, June. I've got to finish this in Q2. Wow. I'm kind of freaking out now. Oh my gosh. I thought I had all the time in the world. I do not have all the time in the world. So this year, not only do I feel okay about where I am with my percentages, which honestly, I have not checked the percentages since December, but in December, I was already over 50% of the way through. So I do feel okay about my percentages, but I actually have now gone in and listed a single book for every single prompt. So now I at least know what I need to get done by the end of June. Let me get out of the way and let's look and see what I've done since my last check-in. So first of all, this is my bingo board. Everything that's green has been completed already. And I can go ahead and tell you that more things are getting checked off in this update. So I am out of the way. We are going to go across the bottom. Oh, I am out of the way. Not really. Now I'll be more out of the way. I finished, done and dusted. So let me go insert that. And then this one is finished. There we go. Subgenre of choice complete. Next is the series Staircase. I read both Monk and Robot series. So that is a prayer for the wild built and a psalm for the wild built and a prayer for the crown shy. Let me just go put the covers in here. Okay. There we go. Series Staircase complete. The next one is award season. And if I had finished this one, I think I would actually have a bingo on the bingo board. And maybe I do end up with a bingo today. I'm not sure, but I have not finished this one. I actually haven't read any more of these. However, I do have them all picked out. And Down Among the Sticks and Bones is on my January TBR. So at some point in January, I will get to this. Next is my TBR game, and you will notice this is blank again. If you remember from last month, I did play a game and I put it on here. However, I played the After Hours game and somebody came in and said, I think it's supposed to be a game that you've never played before, which I remember that from somewhere too, I think. So I'm going back to my original thing, which was to play Becca's deck of TBR. So I'm going to her the latest one she just did for January. I'm going to watch it with my members and we're going to pick books based on the things that she has to pick. Whatever prompts she gets, that's what I'm going to do. All right. So that, I don't know what I'm reading for this. This one's not done. I did put 6 books up here. I don't want to have to go over 6 books for the challenge. So hopefully it's only 5 and she doesn't have 6, but we'll find out. I did watch the video, but that was a couple of weeks ago and I don't remember. For the disability challenge, I read 2 Wrongs Make a Right. So I am done. And there we go. All finished. Next, we have the Heritage Months, and you will notice a couple of things. Number 1, I do have 1 book up here and I did finish reading it. So let me put that one in. Okay, there is Ace. And I also went through and picked exactly the ones that I want to read for each Heritage Month. They are nonfiction books that I actually looked up. Can I get this on Libby? Do I have a credit to use it if I want to get it? Is it on Kindle Unlimited? Like, I went through and asked myself all those questions, and these are the ones that I will be reading. Braiding Sweetgrass, I actually own. I got it as a gift, and the rest of these I can just easily get. It doesn't matter where I get them from, I can get them. So those are what I'm reading for the Heritage Months. I have the exact books picked out. I just have only read 1 so far. For the translation challenge, I finished Strange Pictures. So there it is. And House of Spirits is the only one I have left. I own it physically and it's already in my list of books that I need to read. So that one should get finished as soon as I read that 1 book. Then we have Around the World. I did the same thing again. Well, I finished Temple of Swoon, so let me add that. Okay, so I went ahead and picked out the book for Africa, Asia, and a bonus. The Stowaway is an Antarctica book, and it's on Libby, so I left myself a note to say, hey, that's on Libby. The other 2, I can find them as well. So that is my Around the World, already picked out and ready to go. Next is my Make a Quote. So I did get a question about this today because somebody was asking if I had finished it because they saw one of my words in a book title and messaged me about it. I think that's so sweet, and thank you so much for doing that. I did finish Which Way After 40, and Thrown in the Dark is on my current TBR, so I should be able to read that soon. So these are the ones that are left. The Rabbit Who Wants to Fall Asleep is definitely a kid's book, but that's okay. It says the word asleep in it, and it saves me from having to read a full-length novel. But To Die But Once is going to be a little bit tricky because it is further along in my Maisie Dobbs series. And so I have to read like 3 more books to get to that one. So I don't know, maybe I start prioritizing Maisie a little more than I have been. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, let's go to Spooky Creatures. The last 2 that I have is When the Tide Held the Moon and I Was a White Trash Zombie. That gets me merfolk and zombies. Everything else done. For the alphabet, We Used to Live Here, The Everlasting, Luke, Middlesex, Upside Down, The Second Death of Locke, and The Honeys. I have planned them all, not read any of them yet, but they're all planned, ready to go. I know exactly what I'm reading. For the BIPOC challenge, I did finish A Touch of Darkness and Dawn, and I'm currently reading All the Beautiful Sinners. It is physically, I am reading it physically, so it's going to take longer than an audiobook, but I am reading it currently right now. So this challenge should be finished as soon as I finish that. Then we have our new releases for December. I read Accidentally Wedded to a Werewolf, which came out in my NetGalley. I got it from NetGalley. It was not great, but it's done. My January read is going to be The Lust Crusade, which is the 3rd book after The Temple of Swoon that I just put in. So that is coming out actually next week. So I'm going to start reading it then. And then my February read, I have plenty of options for February. I think it's going to end up being the J.D. Robb, The Next in Death book. And in March, there's a Finley Donovan. There's also, I don't remember, something else coming out. In May, we have the new Murderbot coming out. So it looks like April and June might be the only 2 that I don't right now have something for, but we'll see when it gets there what I end up finding. I'm not concerned about this one. It usually happens, so it's okay. For the T. Kingfisher books, I finished Snake Eater, and I have already picked out the other 13 books. That's not actually true. I'll show you when we get over there and talk about what it's going to look like. For Q's Rex, these are the 3 that I'm going to be reading. I have not finished them, but there they are. Now, let me show you what I have done, and then we'll look at stats. Yeah, first let me show you what my plan is and how we're doing this, and then we'll look at the stats. Okay, this is the place where I keep all the books that I own, whether they're physical, Audible, Chirp, Kindle, and Libro FM. That's usually where I have most of my books. And so that's just the list of all the books that I own. That's not the important part. The important part is right here that I created a thing called Challenge Books, and every book over here to the side needs to be read for HRCYED, r/fantasy, horror bingo, romantasy bingo, or 50 before 50. So you can see right over here underneath my head, we have these 2 books. They're HRCYED, horror and romantasy, and then also there's r/fantasy, and there's 50 before 50. So like I put it out to the side, what it fits in. That doesn't really matter for our purpose right now. What does matter is that every one of those books that I just showed you over here, that's over here somewhere on this, they are on this list. And I put the author, and I put the page number, and I put where I have the book, if I have it, or where I can find it if I need to find it. Everything that has a highlighted thing, those are on my January TBR, so you can see the ones I'm going to be reading in January. If they have a line through them like this, I've already finished them. So that is the way I'm keeping up with this like master list. And I did the same thing in December, and then when December was over, I just took all those books out because I can't get cluttered up with all the books that are on this list. I need them to leave when I'm finished with them. So this goes all the way down, and you can see where my 50 before 50 starts. Now, what I was doing at first with these is I was putting, like, this says Chew number 11 and Chew number 12. So I was saying, like, The Last Mrs. Summers, because that's the next in one of my series. And then instead of putting the title to them, I was putting her Royal Spinus book 12, her Royal Spinus 13, her Royal Spinus, like that. And then I was like, no, I want the titles in here so that when I'm looking for a book, I can easily come in here, look it up by the title and find it. And so I went through every one of my 50 before 50 books are all in here. Now Spy Family 13 through 16, because it doesn't have a choice. It's in here because that's what they're called. But the rest of them are completely written out all the way down to A Ghastly Catastrophe. That's the last one. Then this other thing goes back over to HRCYED, and they're the ones that I added for HRCYED. And you can see that all of them have names except T. Kingfisher 1 and T. Kingfisher 2. And that's because there were two books, I could not find enough books written by T. Kingfisher to fulfill my 20 books by her, like her backlist books. Now, there are books that I have read by T. Kingfisher that are not in that because they went somewhere else in HRCYED and I can't double up. So I needed 20 other books and I can't move them from where they are in some cases because I use them as a new release and I don't think I read another new release for that month during that month. So I can't steal that one. However, today on NetGalley, there is a new T. Kingfisher book called Wolf Worm that just came out. And so now, it's coming out in March. So now I only need one more T. Kingfisher book. So hopefully in the next year and a half, she's going to release one more new book. I know she will. I'm not super concerned about it. But that is everything else. These are books. Desert Heat I had to read for a different thing, not any of these, which is why nothing's over here. I did put a question mark, like, will it fit in HRCYED anywhere? I don't think that it will. And then Silent in the Grave is another one I have to read for a different challenge. It doesn't fit any of these 5 that I was tracking over here, so that's somewhere else. And then the new ones that are coming out, Finley, Stolen in Death, Platform Decay, and Amari. Those are all HRCYED books or 50 before 50 books that are coming out later. And I know I'm going to count them as their new releases, but I've got to decide because I have February, March, February, and May. So I'm not going to count Amari and Stolen in Death because those are both February. So they're either going to be the new release for that month in HRCYED or they're going to just be 50 before 50. So that's it. Those are the ones that I've picked. I don't know how in-depth or detailed y'all want me to go in and be about it. One of the things that I think I am going to do in February with my channel members is I'm going to look at everything I have left to do, and then I'm going to go over to my NetGalley because I have been getting quite a few NetGalley arcs, and I don't want to lose them. I don't want them to be archived before I get to read them. So I want to prioritize them as early as possible when I get those books. And so I want to see if any of those will fit in anywhere else. Like, can I slot those into any of my other things? And then that will help me eliminate HRCYED, eliminate some of my other challenges that I'm trying to do for the year, and still be able to read those NetGalley books. So I'm going to work on that when my channel members and I are planning out my February TBR. Otherwise, let's get back over here and look at the stats. So first of all, this is what the bingo board looks like now. If I had done the award season, I would have my first bingo. So I'm 1 away right there. Also, my challenge, I'm 1 away, but I still have like 13 books left. So that's going to take a minute. And yeah, I don't know that I'm 1 away anywhere else. So right here, Queer Alphabet. I think I only have, no, I have a lot of books left for the alphabet. Okay, yeah. So I'm not close to any bingos, I don't guess, other than the award season, because that only has a few books in it. So anyway, we will see. This is what it looks like right now. So squares completed. We were at 27.81% of squares. I am now at 40.64% for squares completed. And that does not mean like out of the 25 squares, how many squares I've completed. That means books in those squares. So out of the 187 books total that I'm reading, for squares, I have completed 76 of them. So that is what that means, 40% of the squares completed for the book count. Now, how many books have I completed? At the end of the last check-in, I had completed 63.64% of the books. Now let's see how many are done. I am up to 67.38% complete. Now, that does look good because it's at 67%. However, I need to be averaging 11 books a month to finish all of these. And I only read 7 or 8. I only read 8 books last month. So I need to make sure that I do better than that. So I'm going to really focus on getting those 11 books in at each month. And that is going to have to be a little bit higher of a priority to me, but that's okay. We are still looking good, still above where I need to be for the year. And that's it. I think it still looks pretty good. Let me know how your HRCYED 2 is going if you're doing round 2. I know some people started round 1 back in January. Did you finish in December? And are you starting round 2 this January? How many of you waited to start round 2 in January? I would like to know about it down below. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.